What if the person you're trying to forget is the same one your mind refuses to release? You stay occupied, distract yourself, surround your days with noise, yet the quiet moments betray you. Their name returns, their memory lingers, their shadow follows you even though the sun has already moved on. It's a strange human truth. The heart holds on long after reality has already loosened its grip. And in the space between what you know and what you feel, you fight a private battle no one else can see. The Stoics understood this well. They taught that you cannot control who walks away, who fades, or who decides not to choose you. What you can control is the meaning you assign to loss, the discipline you bring to your thoughts, and the peace you build within your own mind. Today, we're diving into 9 Stoic principles designed to weaken emotional attachment, break the mental patterns that trap you, and restore your sense of self. By the end, you won't just move forward. You'll finally see that holding on was never proof of love, only a misunderstanding of what your heart truly needed. Let's begin. Rule 1. Accept reality without decorating it. The mind has a habit of turning memories into museums, rooms filled with warm light, softened edges, and selective truths. When you can't stop thinking about someone, it's rarely because of who they truly were. It's because your imagination keeps polishing the past, adding color where it once faded, adding meaning where none existed. This emotional decoration is what traps you. You're not holding on to them. You're holding on to the version your mind created to comfort the hurt. Stoicism starts with removing illusion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you take away your judgment about a thing, you take away the pain. Pain survives because judgment survives. You label the relationship as unique, destined, irreplaceable. That makes the loss feel catastrophic. But look closer. Did reality match the fantasy? Were they consistent, present, respectful, aligned, or were you filling in the blanks with hope and potential? When we're attached, we confuse longing with truth. Missing someone doesn't mean they were right for you. Feeling pain doesn't mean something precious was stolen. Often it just means your mind hasn't caught up to what your life already knows. That chapter ended for a reason. Accepting reality isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's seeing the full, unfiltered picture, the beauty and the flaws, the connection and the cracks. It's realizing that wishing, imagining, rewriting, none of it changes what happened. A powerful Stoic exercise: sit with a blank page and write 10 statements of reality, not emotion. Not, "I miss them," but "they chose not to stay." Not, "we could have fixed it, but they didn't show up to build it." Not, "maybe one day, but today they're not here." Facts weaken fantasy. Clarity breaks emotional loops. Letting go doesn't start with healing. It starts with seeing. When you stop decorating the past, you stop giving your mind reasons to revisit it. Reality as it is becomes enough. And in that acceptance, the grip of attachment finally begins to loosen. Rule 2. Separate pain from the story you tell. What hurts the most is rarely the event itself. It's the meaning you attach to it. Someone leaving doesn't automatically destroy you. What creates devastation is the story that follows. "I wasn't enough. I must have done something wrong. If they stayed, I'd feel complete." These narratives deepen the wound far more than the loss itself. Stoicism teaches that suffering comes not from circumstance, but from interpretation. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." The issue isn't that someone walked away. The issue is the conclusion you drew about yourself because they did. You fused pain with belief, and now that belief keeps echoing inside. Think about it. When you replay everything, what actually hurts? Is it the final conversation or the fear that you'll never be loved that way again? Is it their silence or the story that their silence means you're unworthy? Is it the goodbye or the imagined future that won't happen? Your mind is powerful, but at times it becomes a cruel storyteller. It doesn't just recall events, it dramatizes them, it amplifies emotion, it creates meanings out of thin air, and suddenly you're grieving not a person, but a narrative you built around them. To separate pain from story, you must question your thoughts the way a Stoic questions impulse. Whenever a painful thought appears, ask, is this fact or is this a story? Fact, the relationship ended. Story, I'll never find love again. Fact, they didn't choose you. Story, no one ever will. Facts are neutral. Stories are emotional storms. A helpful practice, write the painful thought on paper, then rewrite it as a neutral statement. Watch how the emotional charge weakens. This is the Stoic method of deflating, removing exaggeration from the mind. Pain is natural, stories are optional, and when you stop merging them, something powerful happens. The heart begins to heal, not because time passed, but because you stopped feeding the wound meanings it never needed. Rule 3. Cut the loops that keep you stuck. Letting go isn't just emotional, it's neurological. Your mind becomes attached through loops, repetitive thoughts, repeated behaviors, familiar triggers. Every time you check their profile, reread old messages, replay conversations, or imagine different endings, you strengthen the neural pathway that keeps them alive in your mind. Without noticing, you're training your brain to remain in the past. Stoicism emphasizes discipline over attention. What you feed grows, what you starve weakens. If your attention keeps orbiting the person you're trying to release, the obsession will linger, not because the connection was special, but because the loop remains unbroken. Common loops include checking their online activity, replaying moments, imagining what-if scenarios, reading old chats, listening to songs tied to them, stalking mutual connections, daydreaming about reconciliation. Each loop is a doorway back into emotional captivity, and the more often you walk through it, the deeper the pattern becomes. Breaking loops requires intentional disruption. The Stoic approach is clear: replace, restrict, redirect. Replace. When the urge to check or replay shows up, swap the behavior immediately with a different action. Walk, breathe, journal, call someone. Replacement weakens the craving by giving your mind a new path. Restrict. Limit access to triggers. Mute their profile. Archive conversations. Remove reminders from your space. This isn't avoidance. It's boundary setting with your own mind. Redirect. When thoughts drift back, guide them gently but firmly elsewhere, not by force but by choice. A Stoic doesn't battle the mind. A Stoic trains it. Your loops aren't proof of love, they're evidence of repetition. Break the loops, and the emotional intensity fades, slowly, steadily, and then suddenly. Because sometimes healing doesn't start with the heart. Sometimes it begins by interrupting the cycle that keeps the heart trapped. Rule 4, control your inputs, or your inputs will control you. Your mind can't let go of what your environment keeps feeding. Every song that reminds you of them, every place you revisit, every conversation that drags you back to the past, all of it reinforces emotional attachment. People believe heartbreak lingers because of love, but often it lingers because of inputs, the subtle cues, triggers, and sensory anchors that constantly refresh the memory. Stoicism teaches mastery over one's surroundings. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, but those thoughts are often shaped by what we expose ourselves to. If your days are filled with sentimental music, late-night scrolling through memories, or emotional conversations about what happened, then your mind isn't healing, it's rehearsing. Pay attention to the inputs that keep the wound open. The playlist you refuse to change, the photos you still look at, the route you take just to feel close to a memory. The friends who mention their name, the movies, scents, routines tied to them. These aren't harmless. They are emotional breadcrumbs pulling you back to someone who is no longer part of your present. A Stoic doesn't depend on willpower alone. A Stoic shapes the environment to support the mind they want to build. Start with a 24-hour input reset. Step 1. Remove the triggers. Archive messages, hide photos, mute accounts, change playlists, not to erase them, but to protect yourself. Step 2. Add neutral or positive inputs, new routines, uplifting content, calmer spaces, conversations that move your life forward. Step 3. Protect your attention like a fortress. Every time you choose not to react to a trigger, you weaken the emotional link your mind has built with it. Your environment is either helping you heal or keeping you captive. You can't move forward when everything around you is arranged to keep you emotionally tied to the past. When you control what enters your mind follows that direction. Remove the things that reopen old pain, and letting go stops feeling like a war and starts becoming a natural shift toward inner peace. Rule 5. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Sit with the emptiness. When someone leaves, they create a space inside you that feels painfully hollow. Most people rush to fill it. New distractions, new faces, new noise. Anything to avoid the silence that follows loss. But Stoic philosophy teaches the opposite. Don't run from the emptiness. Sit in it. Look at it directly. Let it show you what the relationship was covering up. The truth is, the person you miss often occupied more emotional real estate than they ever earned. When they're gone, the emptiness feels like pain, but what you're actually feeling is the exposure of needs you never addressed. The mind mislabels that exposure as loneliness. But in reality, it's clarity. And clarity, even when uncomfortable, is the starting point of strength. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship to build resilience, sleeping on the ground, wearing rough clothing, fasting, reminding himself that discomfort cannot break him. Heartbreak requires the same discipline. You must learn to sit with the ache without trying to escape it. Every time you avoid the discomfort, you reinforce the belief that you can't handle it. But every time you sit with it, even briefly, you train yourself to endure. Try the Stoic practice of voids. Sit in silence for 10 minutes with no stimulation, no phone, no music, no bargaining with your thoughts. Just breathe and watch the discomfort rise and fall. You'll notice something unexpected. Your mind panics at first, then steadies. The ache intensifies, then softens. What you thought was unbearable becomes something you can face. Another method, emotional fasting. Choose 1 hour a day where you refuse to feed the emotional wound. No checking, no remembering, no imaginary conversations. Let the craving rise and fall without responding. Like waves hitting a stone, each surge loses power over time. The void isn't your threat, it's your doorway. It forces you to see the unstable things you depended on. It teaches you to rebuild your inner world without relying on someone who is no longer there. Sit with the emptiness until it becomes room to grow. Sit with the ache until it becomes insight. Sit with the void until it becomes freedom. In the silence you once feared, you will discover the strength that was always there. Rule 6. Return your focus to what you can control, your standards. Heartbreak feels heavier when you obsess over the one thing you can't influence, another person's choices. You replay what they did, what they didn't do, what they should have done. You analyze everything, hoping that enough thought might somehow change the ending. But no amount of mental replay changes reality. When someone chooses distance, silence, or inconsistency, that choice belongs to them. Stoicism shifts you from external chaos to internal sovereignty. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop trying to control what lies outside your power. You cannot control whether someone loves you, stays loyal, grows with you, apologizes, or returns. But you can control the one force that shapes your emotional world, your standards. Pain lingers because your standards were lowered in ways you never admitted. You accepted mixed signals, justified the bare minimum, waited for potential instead of trusting patterns. And now that the connection is gone, you blame yourself for not being enough. But the real cause is that your standards weren't high enough to protect you. To move on, you must redirect your attention from them to yourself. Ask, what behavior will I never tolerate again? What level of consistency do I expect? What does respect look like to me? What are my emotional non-negotiables? Write down at least 5 standards you refuse to compromise. Make them clear, specific, and rooted in self-respect. This isn't about building walls, it's about building a foundation strong enough that you don't collapse when someone leaves. When you raise your standards, something shifts. You stop romanticizing people who never met them. You stop longing for someone who wasn't aligned with the life you want. The attachment fades, not because the pain disappears, but because clarity replaces confusion. You let go faster when you stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And start asking, why was I choosing someone who couldn't meet me? Shifting from emotional dependence to personal standards is a turning point. You reclaim the authority you gave away. You stop searching for closure and start building character. And your heart becomes guided not by longing, but by dignity. This is how a Stoic heals, by choosing respect over desperation, standards over hope, and self-mastery over emotional chaos. Rule 7. Rebuild your identity without them. One reason you can't stop thinking about someone is because your identity became intertwined with theirs. You didn't just lose a relationship, you lost the version of yourself that existed inside it. The routines, the roles, the shared humor, the emotional rhythm, all of it became part of your sense of self. When the person is gone, it's not just their absence you feel, it's the collapse of that shared identity. Stoicism teaches that your identity must be rooted in virtue, not attachment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that another person's approval, presence, or behavior could never define his worth. Yet modern heartbreak convinces you of the opposite. I was happier with them. They brought out the best in me. Without them, something is missing. But that's emotional illusion, not truth. You were whole before they showed up. You are still whole now. Attachment rewires the mind to intertwine your sense of self with someone else's validation. That's why losing them feels like losing yourself. Letting go becomes easier when you shift from grieving the relationship to rebuilding the self beyond it. A powerful Stoic exercise is the identity rebuild map. Create 3 columns. Who I was with them. List the traits and feelings you associate with that version of you. Calm, expressive, motivated, playful. Who I am without them right now. Be honest, confused, hurt, lonely, unfocused. These aren't flaws, they're temporary states. Who I choose to become, this is where your strength returns. Grounded, disciplined, creative, confident, emotionally independent. This column isn't a memory, it's a mission. The goal isn't to go back to who you were. The goal is to evolve into someone stronger because of the experience. Reclaiming your identity also means reclaiming your time, your goals, your routine, your social world. Say yes to the things that reflect who you are now. Revisit old interests, build new rituals, recreate your personal universe so it no longer revolves around their absence. You stop obsessing the moment your life becomes larger than the space they left behind. When your identity expands, your attachment shrinks. And one day, you'll look back with clarity instead of longing, realizing that the relationship didn't define you, it redirected you back to yourself. Rule 8. Love from a distance. Compassion without attachment. Letting go doesn't mean hating them, erasing them, or pretending the bond was meaningless. In fact, the more you try to force indifference, the tighter the mind holds on. Stoicism offers a gentler approach. You can care without clinging. You can honor what the connection meant without tying your sense of self to its outcome. Most suffering comes from confusing love with possession. You assume that if you care deeply, you must hold on. But caring is not the same as clinging. Love becomes painful only when it comes with demands. Come back to me, pick me, stay for me, reassure me. When those expectations go unmet, affection turns into fixation. The Stoics believed that everything we cherish is something we're borrowing, not something we own. Epictetus taught that we should welcome what enters our lives the same way travelers admire a sunset, with full appreciation, with gratitude, without insisting it stays forever. This perspective doesn't weaken the bond, it purifies it. It removes fear, pressure, and attachment, leaving only honest warmth. To love from afar means this: you can wish someone well without wishing for their return. You can remember meaningful moments without turning them into anchors. You can allow their chapter to conclude in your life without resentment. A powerful practice is the Stoic version of loving kindness, a calmer, clearer form of its Buddhist counterpart. Sit quietly and repeat, "May they be safe. May they grow. May they find peace. May I release what was never mine to hold." These words loosen the emotional grip. They pull your mind from craving toward clarity, from clinging toward acceptance. You're not releasing love. You're releasing the unhealthy attachment wrapped around it. Then turn the final phrase inward. May I be free. Because letting go was never about them. It's about liberating your focus, your heart, your direction. When you practice compassion without attachment, something begins to shift. The emotional storm within settles. The craving softens. The obsession loses fuel. You start seeing them not as the missing piece of your life, but as a meaningful chapter that reached its natural end. Loving from distance isn't weakness. It's emotional maturity, self-respect, and choosing peace over possession. And in that quiet choice, healing finally begins. Rule 9. Move forward through action, not longing. Obsession survives on one powerful fuel: hope. Not healthy hope, but the quiet kind that lingers. The belief that maybe they'll call, maybe they'll change, maybe fate will reconnect you. This kind of hope comforts you, but secretly blocks your healing. As long as you're waiting on a possibility, you're not building a reality. Stoic wisdom warns against depending on outcomes beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the future is unpredictable, and tying your heart to uncertainty is choosing your own suffering. When you keep imagining reconciliation, rewriting old memories, or holding space for their return, you're living in a story shaped by desire, not truth. Hope becomes a trap when it replaces action. You stay stuck because your mind whispers, "Don't move on yet. Something might change." But nothing changes when you wait. Life only shifts when you act. A Stoic approach is to move from passive hoping to deliberate living. Ask yourself, what part of my life have I paused because I'm still emotionally connected to them? What goals or habits have I delayed? What version of me have I neglected? What would I be doing right now if my heart wasn't waiting for someone else's choice? Then begin doing those things, imperfectly, slowly, but steadily. Action is the cure for emotional paralysis. Start with the future self protocol. Write a short description of who you aim to be 90 days from now, mentally, physically, emotionally, socially. Then choose one small action each day that aligns with that version of yourself. Not for them, not to prove anything, for you. Maybe you return to the gym. Maybe you take a class. Maybe you reconnect with friends. Maybe you revive a passion you left behind. Every step sends a message to your mind, I'm moving forward. And with each action, the emotional weight begins to shift because momentum is healing. When you act, you stop checking your phone. When you act, you stop replaying the past. When you act, your identity grows beyond the person you were in that relationship. Letting go doesn't happen through waiting or wishing. It happens through rebuilding the life that heartbreak convinced you to pause. Stop hoping they'll return. Start becoming someone who no longer needs them to. Healing isn't magic. It's the result of small daily steps taken in the direction of your future. Letting go isn't a single realization. It's a series of choices. Choices to see truth instead of fantasy. To separate pain from the stories you once believed. To break inner cycles that kept you stuck. To protect your mind from things that reopen old wounds. To sit with discomfort long enough for it to transform you instead of define you. As these 9 Stoic principles show, the heart doesn't heal through force. It heals through awareness. It heals when you stop trying to reshape what isn't yours to control and start reclaiming what always belonged to you. Your standards, your identity, your focus, your direction. The moment you shift from longing to learning, from hoping to acting, everything within you begins to reorganize. Grief becomes understanding, attachment becomes insight, silence becomes strength. Remember this, you are not losing someone, you are rediscovering yourself. The parts of you that were quiet, ignored, or overshadowed are ready to return. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not empty. You are creating space. You are not behind. You are stepping into a phase where your strength matters more than your past. Letting go is not erasing. It is not resentment. It is not pretending. Letting go is choosing peace over emotional chaos, reality over illusion, growth over stillness. It is honoring what the connection taught you while honoring yourself enough to continue without clinging to something that can no longer grow with you. So carry these principles with you. Practice them slowly, calmly, consistently. You don't need to feel strong to live like someone rebuilding their life. Your actions will move you long before your emotions catch up. And when your mind drifts back, remind yourself gently, this chapter is complete. Not with anger, not with sorrow, but with acceptance. If this message helped you, share your thoughts below. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us as we continue exploring the Stoic path toward clarity, strength, and inner stillness. Your future is calling, and this time you get to answer for yourself.